Happy Halloween, Mets Daily family, and a happy Friday. Hope you have a good time with your loved ones, with your kids tonight, trick-or-treating. I'm too old to go trick-or-treating. Maybe pick up some Twizzlers at CVS, but otherwise, enjoy and be safe, everyone, this weekend. And enjoy Game 6 tonight. The Blue Jays, as we said yesterday, one win away from their first World Series title in 33 years, and what a story it would be. So would love to see that end tonight because it goes to Game 7. It's going to be stress levels for everyone, no matter if you're a fan or not. So enjoy the last game or the last two games. Enjoy your Halloween and enjoy your weekend. And thanks to Nelson Figueroa for hopping on yesterday. Fun time with my old co-host. You know, a name that we haven't talked about a lot because I really figure there's no chance that the Mets go after him is Framber Valdez. Let us know in the comments below. Do you think they should? And also smash that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button below to Mets Daily. And follow me at Jake Brown Live while you're at it. But I just think Framber Valdez's contract projections are looking in the $150 to $200 million range. And I really think he hurt himself with that one move, crossing up his catcher. I mean, I don't think that should be taken lightly. I don't think that's something a good teammate does, especially considering it was a backup catcher. And you know, to do that, I just think was really immature, especially for a 31, 32-year-old pitcher who's entering free agency. It wasn't smart. And if I'm the Mets, I'm shying away from that because this is a team that needs to get the right kind of, attitude in their clubhouse, the right kind of players, the right kind of people. And I don't know if he's the right kind of person. I'm going to be honest. I don't think that's something that a good teammate would do and someone I want in my clubhouse to bring good chemistry to do. And as much as he's pitched in playoff games, has had playoff success, Framber Valdez, I like that aspect of him, that he's pitched in the postseason before, that he's, he is a champion, that he's won with the Houston Astros. He's had some success in the postseason, 4.34 ERA, not a ton. So he has experience, but, I think he's coming off his worst year. Like we said, he's 31 years old. He will turn 32 on November 19th. So he'll be entering his age 32 season, coming off his worst season, in a free agency where he's going to want 5 for 150, maybe, 6 for 175. It's going to be a $30 million a year deal. And, the Mets are already paying Sean Manaea $25 million a year. They're paying Senga $15. I think they need to get a frontline starter, but I don't know if he's the right guy to go after. I just think there's too many question marks with Framber Valdez. And with David Stern's track record, he's not the kind of guy that gives out $200 million deals to starting pitchers. I think Tariq Skubal's a different story because he is a true prototypical ace. Like, he is the guy you want, World Series, Game 1, playoffs, do or die out there. Framber Valdez is not a guy I look at like he's the guy I want out there. And to be honest, I think he's regressed. I think he is a regressing pitcher. And like I said, the attitude thing's an issue. So to me, I'm saying no to Framber Valdez. I honestly don't even think the Mets should speak with his agent. I mean, see what the number is, but I just think it's going to be too high a number, and I think he's too big a risk. I'd rather someone like Ranger Suarez, innings eater, a lefty, not going to cost you $30 million a year. I'd rather someone like that over Framber Valdez. But if you agree, disagree, let me know in the comments below. We talked yesterday about Edwin Diaz, and he's a guy that I do want back, and a guy that I think the Mets need. And if it's 4 years, 88, if it's 4 years, 95, I think whatever needs to get done, you get it done. And we talked about the replacements not looking good. Me and Nelson Figueroa, and we've talked about it. Well, let's take a look at those replacements that you'd have to consider if you don't pay him. Robert Suarez, I put there as number one, with the Padres. Had a good year. Again, a couple of years older, which I don't love. He's 34. He'll be 35 on March 1st. So he'll be entering his age 35 season. Suarez with the Padres, 40 saves, a 2.97 ERA over 69 and two-thirds innings, 75 strikeouts. So, a pretty good season, but this is also a guy with just 4 years of big league experience. He was a late bloomer to the big leagues. 3 of his 4 years, he's been pretty good. He's got a career 2.91 ERA, but to me, I still think that's a significant drop-off, but he's probably atop the list if you were to argue for anyone else. Kenley Jansen, I just think he's too old. He's had a hell of a career. He's not the Kenley Jansen that he used to be. He had a strong season for the Angels, so maybe he's not regressing, but this guy's 37 years old, 38 years old. He was 37 during the season. He just turned 38. I think he's due to regress. You got to give him credit. 2.59 ERA for the Angels last season, but really no pressure. So I'm not interested in 38-year-old Kenley Jansen. Emilio Pagan, a guy for the Reds that also had a really good season. Another guy a couple years older than Edwin Diaz, 34 years old. Pagan will be 35 in May, so it'll be his age 35 season. He had a 2.88 ERA for the Reds, helping them get to the playoffs, 32 saves. You know, his career, though, he's a 3.66 ERA guy. This year was kind of a lightning in the bottle season. That's not really the pitcher he's been. 4.5 the year before, 2.99 the year before, 4.43, 4.83, 4.5. So I just think he's way too inconsistent. He's never made an all-star team. He's not a prototypical shutdown closer. Devin Williams, do I even need to mention? I think towards the end he got better for the Yankees, but my God, is that guy a heart attack waiting to happen? Devin Williams, way too inconsistent for me to even consider going after him. Pete Fairbanks is a guy I think if the Mets did let Diaz walk would be towards the top of their list because, like I said with the Mets and Yandy Diaz and Brandon Lau, I think the Mets and Rays, they're trade partners. They're two teams that go after each other's players. You know, Fairbanks is also 31. He'll be 32 in December, so entering his age 32 season. You know, something about Stearns and trusting that Rays pitching lab, a 2.83 ERA, over 60 and a third innings, had a pretty good season, 27 saves. He's got a career 3.19 ERA. To me, I look at Fairbanks as more of a eighth inning kind of guy, but he's a guy I think the Mets would consider because I think he'd be a lot cheaper. So, you know, I don't want to go that route, but I think out of the names on this list, I think Fairbanks is a guy they could potentially go after. Rafael Iglesias, no thanks. I think 3-4 years ago, maybe that makes sense, but he's definitely regressed as a closer. He's not the same pitcher that he used to be. A 3.21 ERA. You know, 2022, he was great. 23, great. 24, great. I mean, you can argue for Rafael Iglesias, but to me, another guy that's not a lockdown kind of closer that I feel the most comfortable in the ninth inning. Kyle Finnegan, I think he's more of a middle reliever. I don't have a ton of interest in him. The Nationals traded him to the Tigers. He was good for the Tigers, 18 innings, a 1.5 ERA, but to me, not a big Kyle Finnegan fan as a closer per se. Brad Keller, he's a guy that's probably going to get a multi-year deal now. Had a good finish with the Cubs, had a good postseason, a 2.07 ERA out of the bullpen. Remember, Keller was a former starter for the Royals, now is a reliever. You know, he definitely earned himself a multi-year deal this offseason with what he did for the playoffs, for a playoff team in the Cubs. But to me, Brad Keller, another guy, I'm not sure he's really in that closer role for me. I think he's a great middle reliever, great setup man, but not a closer. Ryan Helsley, the last two guys internal, again, just struggled, man. He did not look built for New York. I loved the trade when they made it. It flat out didn't work out. I'm not that interested in Ryan Helsley even being back on this roster in any capacity. AJ Minter is going to be back. He is a player option that he's sure to accept because he didn't pitch in 2024. I'm losing track of the years, 2025. So I think Minter, he's more your setup guy. Another guy I'm more comfortable being a setup man, but he'll be back, and I'm looking forward to him being back because we didn't really get to see him at all. So that's your list. Let me know in the comments below. Who do you like? To me, I'm going Edwin Diaz. If not Edwin Diaz, I think the most intriguing, just thinking from a David Stearns mindset, is going to end up being someone like a Pete Fairbanks. Let's get to your comments, your questions, your comments from Thursday's Mets Daily with my old partner, Nelson Figueroa. Appreciate you smashing those thumbs up, hitting that subscribe, hitting that share. Everybody keep showing that love. From NJ Builder 95. I'd like to see Roger McDowell get a chance for pitching coach, especially if he's going to reintroduce the hot foot. Yeah, I mean, that's another, former Met candidate. He was an 86 Met. I think that's another nostalgic kind of hire you'd be going with there. Listen, Roger McDowell has not coached since, 2018? He's been out of the league for almost a decade, so I don't think you're going to go down that route. From Radio Valorant, Josh Naylor at first base would be the absolute best move, in my opinion, with regards to third base. If Bregman's price is too high, Akamoto is the best option, in my opinion. We improve defensive significantly. We extend the line and add more depth. Actual real depth allows us to spend more of that money elsewhere as well. We also get younger and now able to trade Beatty McNeil. Yeah, I mean, I would love Naylor Akamoto. I don't think they're getting Naylor Bregman. Naylor Okamoto, financially, I could see as more realistic for sure. And I think Beatty, we'll see. McNeil, I think, is a lock to get traded. From Alfred G, 1202, does this mean team needs to have more confidence in their farm and not be boxed in and wait longer than what the talent demands? Yeah, I think they have to be more confident in their farm. Look what happened with Nolan McLean. You finally brought him up, and he was an ace. So I do think at some point you're going to see guys on the farm, but I don't think you can go on opening day being like, all right, Jet Williams is my second baseman, Carson Bench is my center fielder. To me, that's not what a championship caliber team does. That's still taking a risk. But I think at some point you will be comfortable with those guys, but you do need veteran presences there as well. From Edwin Burkhardt, both be bold and careful. What I mean by that is hold the line of prospects you can see fit now and trade what doesn't. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to trade prospect guys. But I think a Nolan McLean and a Carson Bench, to me, are untouchable. I think anyone else is up for grabs. And they're not all going to go, but I think A.J. Ewing, coming off the incredible minor league season he has, I think teams are going to be interested in him. I think Mark Vientos still has value as a DH for some team because he does have pop, and you saw what he did in 2024. So I do think the Mets have value in their prospects, but a couple of them they're going to have to hold on to. From Julio Caban, the Mets have had camaraderie in 2024 with the Iglesias on the team. They want to keep Acuna and Mauricio on the bigs, and look at what happened. Team chemistry means a lot. Just ask the Blue Jays. Yeah, we talked about that. I think the Mets have to find the right clubhouse fits. I don't think keeping Acuna and Mauricio is the issue for this team, but I do think letting Iglesias go was an issue. JD Martinez, I don't think there was any argument to bring him back because he had nothing left in his bat, but I think keeping around him in the organization could have been helpful. Now, we don't know. Like, he went to go play pickleball. I don't blame him. I love pickleball. Now I see why JD Martinez went to go play pickleball. It's an incredible game, and it's an addicting game. So I'm someone who's playing pickleball 5-6 days a week, so I understand why he left for that. From Elvin Solano, wherever Max Scherzer goes, World Series follows. Yeah, not wrong. From Sal Capello, I'd hire Bobby Ojeda. He's a pitching encyclopedia, but Stern's never going there. Yeah, I mean, he's an encyclopedia, but he has a coach. I interned for SNY. I used to get Bobby Ojeda's lunch. I remember he was great for SNY. I think he was a little bit too brash for SNY. They didn't like, some of his honest takes that he had. And I just don't think he's coached anywhere, so I don't think there'd be any interest there. From Jose Lupus, signing Josh Naylor makes the lineup too left-hand hitting, bad move. I disagree with that. From Arcade Perfect Reviews, Japanese players play in other states. That's a trash take. We have a Japanese player on our team right now. Yeah, I mean, I think Figgy was kind of just being realistic with it. I don't think he means it's a lock. He's going to Seattle or L.A., but the trend has shown these players go to the West Coast. It's closer to home. There's much less pressure, and you get to play alongside guys that you played with or played against. I think there's just a comfortability level. I don't really think it's a trash take. I think it's just a realistic take, but doesn't mean the Mets won't get Okamoto or Murakami. Theo Isaac, let's go Mets. Let's go Mets. Sal Capello, the pitching philosophy sucks in the Mets organization. The pitching lab is a joke. Shut it down. Well, I don't know if it's going to be shut down, but it's going to look a lot different with Jeremy Hefner gone now. I think there's still going to be analytics involved, and there's going to be some kind of lab. I don't know if it sucks per se. I just think they need to, like Figgy made a good point yesterday, don't exhaust all your energy the first few innings. They need to figure out how they could let these guys get through a whole game and figure out how to mix maybe off speed and less kinetic chain and torque and pressure on their arms in the first couple innings. Because by the fourth inning, the Mets starters had nothing left. That's something that they're going to have to work on. All right, folks. Happy Halloween. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Smash that thumbs up. Follow your boy Jake Brown at Jake Brown Live. Scan that code. Become Mets Daily Insider. Cheaper than a cup of coffee. Have a great weekend. Let's go Blue Jays. We'll recap the World Series and get you ready on Monday for free agency next week, guys. It begins 5 days after the World Series ends. So either 5 days after today, November 5th, or 5 days after tomorrow, November 6th, free agency officially begins. So next week, we're going to be locked and loaded. Wardy's going to be joining us next Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. Guest every week, lots of great content. Keep on watching, keep on subscribing, keep on smashing that thumbs up, and keep on commenting. Jake Brown Live, checking out for now. Enjoy the weekend. Be safe, everybody. Thanks for watching. Mets Daily. Go Blue Jays.